Welcome to Ohio Tabletop Gamers. Today I will be giving my thoughts on the Human Defense Force Field Artillery. So without any further, let's go ahead and get started and see what this unit is all about. So, coming out of the box, Field Artillery is 115 points, a Quality 4, Defense 2, has the keyword Artillery, Hold the Line, Tough 3. Comes armed with a light shard mortar, 18-inch range, 2 attacks, blast 3, indirect, with rending. And it also has an artillery crew melee attack of 3 attacks, no AP. So the artillery rule may only use hold actions. When this model shoots at enemies over 9 inches away, it gets a +1 to hit rolls. When enemy units shoot at this model from over 9 inches away, they get -2 to hit rolls. Now, pay attention to that first line. This unit may only use hold actions. So, if you're using field artillery, you cannot move. You can only use hold actions. So, wherever you place it on the field is where it's going to stay all the way to the end of the game. So I just wanted you aware of that if you haven't used field artillery. That line right there means that, yeah, you're wherever you place it, it's staying. So going back to the overview real quick. So now that you know that you cannot move, your light shard mortar that it comes with out of the box is not that great. You got 18-inch range. Yes, it's indirect, and it has rending with blast 3, no AP. But again, wherever you place it in your deployment zone, that is where it's going to stay until the end of the game. So the 18-inch range is quite terrible unless you're playing a scenario where your objective marker's in your deployment zone maybe, or maybe you can cover one of the objectives from 18 inches away. I don't know, but this one is just too short of range for me for a field gun. That's just me though. So your upgrades. You can replace the light shard mortar with a rocket battery, which has a 24-inch range, 2 attacks, AP1, blast 3, and indirect. This is a lot better for 25 points. Or you can get the field cannon, which has a 30-inch range, 2 attacks, AP2, blast 3 for 35 points. Now this one makes no sense to me. You're talking about a field cannon, right? Artillery. Why in the world does artillery not have indirect? Now I understand if this was like a tank killer gun or something like that, but this is not. This is just a field cannon. This should actually have indirect. I don't know why it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense with a field gun. But okay. So you can also get a heavy laser cannon for 36-inch range, 1 attack, AP3, deadly 6 for 40 points. This, to me, is a great option because you can buff it with an officer hitting at on a 3. So that's really good. Alongside the artillery rule, which gives you a +1 to hit. So it looks like they would stack. So you would be hitting on 2s. And this has an AP3, and it's a deadly 6. This is definitely a monster tank killer right here. Now, the only downside is you have to have line of sight. So if you're going to use this, and as soon as you place it on the field, make sure that you have a really good field of fire in front of you. You know, that you have a lot of different angles. So if they bring anything big from a monster to T3s to an APC to a tank, you got your officer right there. You got the artillery rule. You got your +1 to hit. You're hitting on 2s. So with a deadly 6, this thing is devastatingly, good for something that you can't move. So just a thought in there. And finally, you have the light AA cannon, 30-inch range, 6 attacks, AP1 unstoppable for 40 points also. So again, this is a lighter version of what you're getting with the support vehicle, but it's still unstoppable. 6 attacks at AP1 isn't bad with unstoppable, so this is really good. But again, you're going to need line of sight. So, I guess it depends on if you want to throw a lot of rounds downrange with Unstoppable, or you want that one shot, to take out something big. I would prefer, me personally, I'd go with the heavy laser cannon. That's me, though. But in reality, I'm not really big on this unmovable artillery because you don't have like a big gun. None of these are like, a really nice big gun. You're going to sit it somewhere. It's not going to move. It has indirect, it's really, like a hefty artillery piece that you don't mind that it doesn't move. All these other ones, yeah, they have great, Deadly Six and, the AP3, or AP1, 6 attacks. They're all fine, but again, you cannot move. And this game is an objective game. So if I want something like field artillery, I want something that's going to make a difference because I'm losing a movable activation when I have this in my army. Although, that laser cannon is really good. And, with the range it has, if you got a good field of fire, you can basically sweep, the area and get a nice attack out that will sink an APC right away. Or at least half a tank down. So this is good. It's just, this game is an objective game. I'm not sure if you would want to put an unmovable piece like this that doesn't have a what's the word I'm looking for? A viable way to make a difference in your game. A big gun, a big cannon that's definitely going to be scary for somebody to get anywhere in their radius, and then you can just lob shells at somebody, or even with the deadly shots and stuff. It's just, you can't move. So now one of your activations, you can't even go to an objective or contest an objective. It's difficult. Now, if you really just love artillery and you just love the thought of it and it's the theme and you're not trying to play, super competitive, and you just want something cool, hey, rule of cool always wins. I'm not going to down you for running the field artillery because you love it, because it looks cool. I mean, that's definitely a neat way. And they do look cool, especially with HDF, to have, the field gun out there. It's just playable rules-wise. It's not very useful in an objective game. And the guns aren't big enough, in my opinion, to make a serious threat in like a 30-inch radius or more. Something that's really going to cause your opponent to second guess going in a certain direction or doing something with certain models because you got that big gun back there. But all in all, I think the laser cannon is the best option if you're going to run this, just because it is a big threat to an APC or a tank. But you're going to have line of sight. So, your opponent's going to know that. Your opponent's going to use terrain and all kinds of ways to weasel around it if they can. So it's going to take you to make some very careful planning on where you place this gun. You're going to have to think this through if you run a field artillery piece. However, I really love it. I love the aesthetics of it. I love the thought of it. I just wish they would at least give one option where you have a big gun. One option like they do with the support vehicle. That 36-inch range, blast 3 indirect, AP1 I believe it is. I mean, that's a threat. I would like to see the field guns have something like that, just an option for you. So if you want to run a big field gun in the back, that's going to have your opponent a little concerned. Yeah, because you can't move it. So that's that. But yeah, I mean, buffing it up with the artillery rule and buffing it with an officer, it makes an excellent, hitter. I mean, you'd have to roll ones to miss. So unless the dice are really against you that day, you're going to do some damage with this thing. So, it's good. all the way around, I like it. I like the idea of it. I just think that, field artillery should be indirect, and field artillery need to have a longer range, at least various ranges. And it really does need to have that one, like, super long range, big gun with a lot of blast or something on it, to just, if you're going to put it down there, it's going to be a threat. It's not going to make or break the entire game, but it's going to cause your opponent to second guess scouting ideas and things like that. So I really think that this is better used if you had that one option of a bigger gun that, kind of worries your opponent. I think that would be great use of this for the points that you're paying. But other than that, we don't have that yet now. September, they're doing a redo of the army, so maybe they'll add, a bigger gun to this, possibly. I doubt it, but, it's possible. But for right now, it's not terrible. It's just, you got to be very careful where you put it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the field artillery today, and I will leave you at that. So, I hope you have many more happy games ahead of you. I wish the best for you and your family. Take care.